Have Your Say, Hobsons Bay is a series of stories and experiences of people who live, work and play within the municipality of Hobsons Bay. Let's hear how their lives were changed because of COVID-19. Have your say, Hobsons Bay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Speakers Bank podcast, our views, our voices, and digital story network project. I am your interviewer, Ferdinand, for this episode from the JTA podcast team. And today I am introducing you to the one of our community champions of Hobsons Bay community. She loves the community work and loves giving back to the society and to the community as well. So please, let's all welcome Kim Reilly. So, hi, Kim. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm so glad and pleased to be given a chance to be available for today. And then, first of all, I would like to thank you for granting this opportunity and for you to be interviewed and to discuss about the Seabreeze Quilters and how your organization adapted to the new normal, having COVID around, and it's having these things here and there, lockdown and stuff. So before we proceed, can you tell us something about the organization and what do you want and the purpose what do you want and the purpose of it, so we can share with everyone?
Okay, so the purpose of the organisation really is to gather like-minded people together to celebrate the craft that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is no other formal group like this in Hobsons Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And so about 16 years ago, it was put to me as a suggestion. And that suggestion came out of me having a local business here. It was a patchwork and quilting business. And when that business had to close, we lost our community because the business created a community. So without me realising it at the time, the business had already formed almost a group.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the business closed, the local community centre suggested that I form a quilting group. And that's how we started 16 years ago.
Oh, wow. So it's from an idea, it becomes a reality. So that's cool. And can you share with everyone of us who's listening to you that the things that your organization do before the pandemic happened?
Okay, so when we were pre-pandemic, we would be meeting twice a month and keeping in touch with our members via newsletters and Facebook posts. But the twice a month face-to-face meetings there was a general meeting and then there was a workshop type of meeting where we would increase the skills of the members and give them workshops that they would attend to increase their skills. But in line with that as well is that any community group like ours isn't always a self-serving group. So whilst the members are getting a lot out of it, and it's decreasing their isolation, it's increasing their connectivity, we also support quite a number of charities. And we do a lot of charitable work and we do a lot of events and programs. It's been an interesting group to be a part of that has been able to give so much back to the community as well as doing so much for ourselves.
Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, like this thing would be like it's kind of fulfilling.
It is very fulfilling.
Fulfilling,
and part of the process of actually making a quilt is not just the process that gives me something, but at the end of the day, the quilt might be something that I don't necessarily need or want to keep, so I'll give it to somebody else.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And so that's been a lot of what the members have done over the years. We've supported Women's Health West, their crisis accommodation units. We make quilts for the children. So every child that goes into that crisis accommodation unit gets a quilt from us.
Wow.
And the mums get a care package. And in the care package is a whole big bag of things that would be shampoo and sanitary products and everything that a woman might need just to make life a little bit easier, down to a coffee cup, because they leave home with nothing. And so something to comfort the children, something a little bit practical for the mums with shampoo and conditioner and things. So the members have actually supported that for 15 out of the 16 years that we've been going.
Wow. That's really good. Yeah, it's amazing how you ended up like doing so, like giving just the things that the things that they need, focusing on those things that will be like necessary for them as well. So yeah, that's good. And then like when this pandemic hits us, our country, like globally, like not just our country but globally, so there's lots of changes that happen. So what's how do you call this, what's the changes that's occurred in the usual routine and life of the organization when the pandemic hit us, like hit you as well? How did it affect?
Well, what we did, like everybody else, is we shut down. So we stopped meeting face to face because we weren't allowed to. We essentially went into a state of shock, like everybody did. But it was a few months. It took us a little while to realise it wasn't going away very quickly. And so we then got our Zoom subscription. And then we started to connect with the members via Zoom. And so what we did, though, is that we did it in such a very gentle and encouraging way. So we would open up the meetings, we would have the microphones on, the videos on. There was no password, so people didn't have to hop in with a password. That doesn't work for a lot of organisations, but it worked for us. And then we would open the meeting early so that those who weren't sure of what to do on Zoom could connect with me on a one-to-one.
Oh, yeah.
And so I could show them where the buttons were. We could go through what it was. And so over the next little while, we actually had quite a number of members we were able to connect with by Zoom. Now, not everyone can, and we understand that. So what we would do is we would have our committee meetings by Zoom, and we would go through our membership list, and we would find out for every member on our 85 member list, we would say who in the committee has spoken to this person, who's heard from them, who knows who's a friend of theirs, can we contact them if we haven't heard from them. So we actually kept in contact with our members by phone, by Zoom, email, and just reaching out to them.
No, that's good because it's good because not everyone can connect can do it. Not everyone can do it. So it's and you give me an idea as well. Like we can do that too. Like give like spare time ahead of time for the members who cannot quickly grab it the information quickly, so we can like guide them through the way or through the process itself. So it's good. It's a good one.
Yeah, and there's even one member who doesn't have a computer at home or anything, and so at one stage someone had her on the phone while we're on a Zoom meeting so she could at least hear us. But then we had 10 members of our committee. And so when we divide the membership up between those 10 members of the committee, it wasn't as hard to keep in touch with a small group. And then we would rotate who people kept in contact with. So it was really effective that way. It took a little bit of time, but time was something we seem to have a fair bit of when you're in lockdown. It stretches.
Like, it's
yeah, it becomes quite a long time. So we were able to keep in touch with members that way. And so we had, we then even formed special events via Zoom. And so we have had 4 special events over the last 2 years.
Wow, that's good.
So I did some research on the internet around virtual retreats, what we call a retreat, where groups of us quilters would get together for long periods of time. We would go away for 4 days to 7 days, and we do nothing but sew and eat and chat and talk face to face. So to do that in the virtual world is very challenging. What we did was we actually created a retreat, a 4-day retreat on Zoom, where we had a program for every day. And we connected with the members every day at least 2 to 3 times via Zoom. We would have an opening, we might have an afternoon catch up, and then another day we might have an evening catch up where people might get themselves a drink, and we would give them recipes, we would give them ideas. And so people are on their screens with their cheese and biscuits and a drink and chatting and showing us what they worked on during the day. And so we did that program for 4 days in a row. And at part of all of that was keeping people positive, was trying to have people look forward to something. So we gave them milestones for themselves to do, because if you're on your own living at home, you've got no one to bounce ideas off. And so this was a room in order for people to bounce ideas off, get some enthusiasm, and if nothing else, just connect with people. Because quite a number of our members do live on their own. And so we were concerned about their isolation. We were concerned about their mental health and keeping connected. And we had feedback from quite a few members that said that they felt that that was the thing that held them together.
Wow. So it's good to hear that how you engage with your members, with the community, and then how do you motivate each other, and how to be engaged still on this project with this COVID. So like as I can see, like, no, COVID couldn't stop us. We can still do it ourselves. That's good. I mean, engaging well with the group and with your own members, with your own team by doing this and doing so. So it's kind of relieve the feeling of being alone, this loneliness, especially in this when we're in lockdown, when we have all
absolutely so so our group actually supports 2 orphans in Uganda. So we raise funds every month. We would raise funds, and of course that's another issue for groups when it's into lockdown and going virtual, is around raising funds. But that's, our club had enough to support these children, continue supporting them. But what we did was sent the Zoom invitation to the organisation who helped support these children in Uganda. So in one of our Zoom meetings, we had the Ugandan women on their laptop in the middle of Uganda, joining our meeting, and that's what helped our members also see the group that was supporting the children, but also to see the world outside as well. And then we would send all our members links to other virtual events, and then getting people to share information and just trying to keep a conversation going, which is what we're doing.
While doing so, you probably felt more the purpose of what you're doing.
Certainly there's a sense of a lift in your spirits when you hop off a Zoom. Zoom's exhausting, so we know that Zoom's exhausting, so we didn't try and extend the periods of time too long, and so but afterwards you would always feel a sense of excitement that we were able to connect so many people.
So what do you think about the members from your point of view, the members of the Seabreeze Quilters? What do they get aside from getting these new skills and hobbies to do?
It's certainly about social connection. So this craft that we do could be anything. It's just that quilting seems to attract quite a number of people, and you don't know that you know a quilter until you start mentioning quilts and fabric and things. So there are a lot of us out there, but what we do is connect. So we're connecting. What we're connecting on is the actual craft, not the person doing it. In that, you don't need to know my background. You don't need to know where I've come from. If I'm talking to you about my quilt, we'll talk about my quilt. And so at one stage, we did a project where we were teaching women in prison how to do patchwork and quilting, with the view that when and if they were able to come out of prison, they were able to then have a craft that would connect them with someone who didn't need to know where they came from. So we don't know a lot of personal details about our members, in that I don't need to know whether you're married or single or have children. What I'm talking to you about is what project you're working on and what fabrics you're using.
Wow. So speaking of your project, is there any project that you're currently on or ongoing?
Yeah, so the the first year of the pandemic, 2020, we started a project which was called Home for Christmas, and it was about making homemade items that would go to
That's right.
That would go into people's homes. And so the idea of the project was actually around the bushfire victims. So when we heard about the bushfires, one of the things that quilters do is respond by making things for people.
Mhm.
So it's sometimes a way that we work through trauma and grief. It also gives us something to do when we can't physically do something else.
Mhm.
And so the quilters will always respond with these handmade quilts for people as
Mhm.
part of recovery, to show there are people out there who care, and to do something for ourselves as also while we're listening to this traumatic event going on.
Mhm.
So we wanted to give these handmade items to the bushfire victims for Christmas. But what we didn't realise at the time was because of COVID, we
Mhm.
couldn't get those items distributed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So we had them all, but we had no one to give them to. And so one of our members, one of our younger members, actually suggested the Meals on Wheels recipients in Hobsons Bay. So
Mhm.
we donated close to 200 items to the Meals on Wheels recipients that were distributed. And the members just got such a buzz, such a thrill to know that their handmade items had gone to well-deserving people, not necessarily the cause they thought of in the first place, but well-deserving people.
Mhm.
And we had some lovely feedback about that.
Mhm.
So we did it again last year.
Wow.
Only this time we found out that there was 165 people on the Meals on Wheels program, and we wanted to give them at least 2 things each. So we made what we call a little microwave bowl cozy. So when you put a bowl into the microwave and it gets hot, you heat it up.
Mhm.
This cozy, you can put your bowl into the cozy, put it
Mhm.
into the microwave, and when you take it out, you don't burn your hands on the bowl,
Oh wow, wow, that's handy. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Mhm.
which we thought would be valuable for older people.
Helpful, yeah.
Absolutely. So we went about and we made, I think we ended up with nearly 100 of those made. And
Mm.
then we made a placemat for each person.
Mhm.
So it's something that they could put their plate on. It might be Christmas fabric. It might have just been other fabric. Some people made them reversible so that after Christmas they could turn the placemat over
Yeah.
and have another colour the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we made some little cutlery holders as well. And then the members made Christmas decorations. They made extra quilts,
Mhm.
and they made a whole heap of things. So we estimated everybody got
Yeah.
at least 2 items, if not 3 or 4.
Wow, wow, that's good. That's good.
And
Yes.
we distribute them through the Hobsons Bay City Council. We distributed them to every Meals on Wheels recipient.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow, that's nice. That's nice. That's good to hear. So probably lots of people will be really willing to join you on, I mean, to join on this project as well. So if the to our listeners, if they're, for sure there are lots of interested people who would like to be a part of your group. So how can they connect with you guys? Like if there are people who want to join this club and support your group as well, how could they connect to you?
They generally Facebook. We don't have a website at the moment.
Mhm.
We just don't have enough. We do enough of other things. We just don't have enough time or
Mhm.
technical ability to keep up a website at the moment. So Facebook has our contact details on it. And if people aren't on Facebook, then if you can give out my details
Mhm.
at some stage,
Mhm.
if they contact you, they can
Yeah.
email me or phone me.
Mhm. So your Facebook page or group
Is
name is
Seabreeze Quilters. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So yeah, for sure, lots of people would love to join their group and be a member of, be a part of your team as well.
We're a fun group to be part of.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is around inclusiveness as well. It's around all abilities,
Mhm.
inclusiveness, and our members pride themselves on being a very inclusive group,
Mhm.
of being good to each other as well. And
Mhm.
that's what we pride ourselves on that.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice. Thanks for that. I did really learn a lot from our conversation today. Like really to stay positive on what things are happening. Even this COVID thing could not stop you from doing what you love, doing what or giving back to the community and serving
Yeah,
your purpose. So Kim, as I would much as like to continue this interview, but I have to end this podcast episode now. But
sure.
still I would really love to thank you for giving us time and to behalf of our speakers bank. Thank you for sharing your insights and giving us a motivation to be in a healthy state of mind during this period. So thank you so much everyone for watching us. And if you have any questions or suggestion or any topic that you want us to cover, please contact us on 0396877066 or visit us on www.speakersbank.org.au. And again, this is Ferdinand saying thank you. And once again, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Speakers Bank, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and LinkedIn. And goodbye and have a great day, everyone. And thank you again, Kim. And please follow their Facebook page as well. Thank you.
Thank you.